What's up, guys? Ted from Immersion here, and it's time for another D&D weekly update. I know I say this like every week lately, but really, no news. We got a Dragon Talk podcast, a couple of new things and streams, but not a whole lot. Biggest news: brand new waves of Unpainted Nulzer's Magical Minis, Pathfinder Deep Cuts, and Wizkids specific minis, and they are awesome. Like, I'm very excited. The last ones I was kind of pumped about. These ones, like, I'm going to drop a lot of money on these. And you probably are too, so you're probably going to want to stay tuned, at least for that. So let's just get through the rest of the other stuff so we can talk about the minis, because, like I said, that's what we're here for. So, Dan Telfer from Nerd Poker was on Dragon Talk for this week. There is a large section on sage advice. It's all about grappling, which I was actually going to do, and I still plan to do, my own video, because I feel like grappling is, at least in my experience, across most Dungeons & Dragons platforms, is something that is either used significantly or not used at all because people just don't care about the mechanics and don't want to look into how grappling works and what you can do while grappled. I will say 5th edition has streamlined that a little bit, but simplicity is sort of 5th edition's kind of MO. But there's some cool things you can do with grappling, more party help than actual damage yourself. But something I just noticed that I thought was really cool, I saw this right here. If you're interested in submitting your artwork to be considered for use with D&D, send 5 images to artdrop@wizards.com. Didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently, you artist types out there. You artist types out there. There's a pretty just like blatant. Again, maybe it's talked about on the podcast and I just haven't missed it for forever. But that line right there just kind of really caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. So there you go. If you're an artist and you want to try to get your artwork into D&D, or at least try to maybe approach a, maybe a partnership or potentially eventual job, I'd say you probably should start there. Force Grey Lost City of Omu just started. So this is the 2nd season of Force Grey. It was Force Grey Giant Hunters. Now it's Force Grey Lost Cities of Omu. The first 2 episodes came out. It's about an hour in total. This came out Monday the 31st of July. So that was last Monday. So tomorrow there'll be another 1, maybe 2 episodes. I'm not entirely sure how they're breaking it up, but it's pretty good. It's, again, fairly celebrity, ridden, as that's sort of its MO. Dylan Sprouse, Brian Posehn, Deborah Ann Wall, Joe Manganiello, Matt Mercer. It's got a lot of talent, and it's interesting. They're kind of heading to Chult, so cool stuff. The 2nd episode ever of CelbriD&D, which, to be honest with you, until this episode, I thought that was, I was under the impression it was going to be a series. Like a consistent series they were going to have. They had the first episode, Joe Manganiello. And then I was waiting for the 2nd episode to come out, and it never did. So I thought they just sort of gave up on it, and that was the end of it. Well, apparently not. It's just very infrequent. And this episode stars John Bradley, or as you probably know him, Samwell Tarly from Game of Thrones. You can see here he's playing Mancom. Mancom. Interesting choice of names. We'll see. Anyway, he's a gnome bard, level 6. Last time we saw other folks from Critical Role in it. We see that again this time, but it's different players and characters, and also, I think Jessica Chobot and a couple others, again, Matt Mercer DMing. So this, there's a little preview here on Nerdist, and I think on Geek and Sundry, but to see the full episode, you need to have a subscription to Geek and Sundry / Nerdist's premium content paywall of Alpha, so projectalpha.com. You can go sign up. There is cool stuff there you can't get anywhere else. Personal favorite of mine, because I've had an Alpha subscription for a while, and I was going to cancel it because I never really used it, but the big one that got me going back to it, honestly, was Talking Tunes, which is Rob Paulson He's a fairly famous voice actor. I'm sure you've heard some of his stuff. He was Yakko Warner and Animaniacs and Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. But he has a podcast, and he's had a long-term audio podcast, which I actually didn't even know about. But now they did an upscale production version of it, and it's video. And you guys, I'm sure, have seen some of these videos if you've been on the interweb space in the nerd area, like the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cast doing an episode of Seinfeld, or Billy West doing a monologue between Marty and Doc Brown as Fry and Professor Farnsworth, stuff like that. Really cool stuff. But again, this is a D&D update, so I'm not going to go too much there. But if you want to see the full version, you'll have to go check it out on Alpha. Alright, well, the moment we've all been waiting for. Wave 4, do we have a date? November 17th. And oh boy, we've seen these high-scale minis, the Nulzer's Magnificent Minis, or Marvelous Minis, and the Pathfinder Deep Cuts. But let's check out what we're getting in basically Release 2. So we haven't... They kind of went with a lot of different races that we didn't see before, or other versions of it. So we have the Air Genasi Female Rogue. What's interesting is the bow gets a string, which is not something we see typically in a lot of these minis. So Air Genasi Female Rogue. Earth Genasi Male Fighter. Again, this is what you're getting, the Unpainted mini. These are just color renders to show you what you could make it look like. Tiefling Female Sorcerer. I will definitely be picking up these minis. I think they're awesome. Any of the ones with a cool transparent effect, I really like those. Obviously, I need to have this. Tiefling Male Sorcerer. These are just badass. Like, I need these. You don't see a lot of Dragonborn minis out there. So I'll probably be snagging these. I like the Dragonborn Paladin of Bahamut right here. Very cool. And then we have a female Dragonborn Fighter, which looks like she's got some sort of cool, like, Flame Tongue sword. Or a dual axe wielding, also cool. And then a male Dragonborn Fighter. And again, these ones you'll typically get a package that has 2 minis in them. So you'll get both of these. First Azamar mini I've seen in a long time, and the first good one, I'll say. Azamar Female Paladin, very cool, a good usage. I mean, typically you'll get an Azamar as either a Paladin or a Sorcerer, maybe a Warlock, but very cool with the ethereal wings and everything. I'm a big fan. And you can see the prices are relatively, I mean, again, you have to paint them yourself, but $5 for 2 minis isn't bad. Okay. Now, this one I'm not sure about. We have Beholders. So we get this Beholder, just straight up eye stalks, but this one is firing eye beams. It's listed as $5. Now, I don't know if that means $5 gets us both Beholders, or is this going to be one where we only get one? This history dictates that we would get both of these for $5, which seems a little ridiculous. And obviously you need to go buy these, because this is crazy to get Beholders for so cheap. Obviously, I'll be picking these up, regardless, but if they're $5, you can guarantee I'll probably be streaming me buying them from the store. Yonti Malisons. These look fairly similar to some of the existing minis we've gotten from Wizkids, but we have kind of this Naga Serpentine body and the snake head. The werewolves ones look really sick. Like, this one, he's got a severed hand. Like, these are really, like, the models just look great. I'm very excited for these. Umber Hulk, see, this is the first one we see as a singular, so this makes we get one Umber Hulk. Mimics, I like that we get the traditional treasure chest mimic, but also like a wine or an ale cask, different, and I like that a lot. Medusas, so it looks like we've got a female and a male Medusa here. This looks very similar to one of the ones you'll encounter in Princess of the Apocalypse. We've got Githyanki. Drow, even though we've seen... I guess we haven't technically seen Drow in the past. We've seen elves that you could paint to look like Drow. These ones are specifically Drow in their kind of spider imagery and their weapons of choice. Dwarf female barbarian. Different. I don't think we actually have a dwarf male barbarian, but we do have a dwarf female barbarian. I love the elf female druid, the kind of grasping vine plant growth, and this fire phoenix. Very cool. Elf male druid, I feel kind of got a little shafted on the magical effects. Kind of got this little bit of green transparentness, but this dude, like, I don't know. I feel like he could have given us a cooler mini. Elf male bard. Bard with a bow. Something that's often overlooked, I feel. But I'm digging this guy down here with the purple magic. Human male bard. Don't know what's up with that helmet, but okay, sure. Dwarf male paladin. These guys look pretty sweet in their badass armor with their big hammers. Dwarf female cleric. We got the male cleric last time. He had a weird lollipop looking thing. Now we have the female. Dwarf female wizard. Very cool. Just a straight up ballista. I'm not sure on the size because there has been a ballista mini and it was very small. I'm hoping this has got a little bit more size to it. Centaurs. Elf male cleric. Now here's what I don't understand. There's 3. Unless this is a... Again, for $4.99, now there hasn't been a change in any of the prices here. So whether or not that's just a function of what was been released, but there are 3. I'm really digging the shield one here at the end. I don't know what we'll end up seeing. If it is all 3 for $5, obviously that's one of the better ones, bang for your buck. And then this one is listed as $29.99. This is Esmeralda's campsite, basically, from Curse of Strahd. So if you're running Curse of Strahd and you weren't able to pick up one of the case incentives from Monster Menagerie 2, which was all of these just pre-painted, you can pick these up unpainted and paint them yourself. Alright, so Pathfinder Deep Cuts. Let's go back to the beginning here. I don't know why I jumped ahead. So, Dwarf Male Sorcerer. Rusty Dragon Bar. So we've got a couple of set pieces here. Silver Dragon. Again, it's listed as $5. The bar is listed at $24. We don't know the scale on this, but like $5 for a dragon, even if it's pre-painted, or even if it's a small-sized dragon, is a good deal if you look online and try to buy individual dragons. So, like, obviously I'm jumping on this. Elf female rogue. I'm digging the kind of cape and the spiky hair. I think that's pretty cool. Infantryman. So, you know, you need to make mass combat with some army stuff. The dire wolf looks sweet with the bony protrusions on the back. Big fan of that one. Children. Dwarf male barbarian. This one's kind of battle rager-y, so I'm digging that. Elf female bard. She's got the violin or the fiddle here. Human female bard. I guess that's like a lie. Human female bard. She looks like she maybe has like a flute or a lute in this hand. Sorry about the jump cut, but you know, dogs. Elf female paladin. I can't tell if that's like if that's a translucent like sword on either on fire or something over there, but again, very cool. I'm digging the flowy capes seem to be a big thing in the Pathfinder minis. Just dancing bartenders. Got some more townsfolk, town guards, and then we're back to the dwarf male sorcerer. And then lastly, we have the deep cut minis. So we'll just whoop, right back to the beginning. We have wooden tables and chairs, swarms of rats, pirates. This dude's got a nice gut on him here. Oxen, a couple familiars, different from the ones we've seen in the past. So we've got a cat, a frog, and an owl. Probably one of the more common ones you'll see used. Crates, braziers with the transparent, or this one looks like it's just got smoke coming out of it. This one they painted to look red. And bandits, and then lastly a 2-wheeled cart. Pre-order all of these with your PhD Games account manager before August 4th. This is what they say here where I've got the link. I'll have the link to this in the description if you want to click these to see the individual models. If you click on any of these, like say this one, it'll actually open it up so you can get a clearer look at it. But yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, not a lot of news. Most of the time here we spent going through all those individual minis. I hope the prices on those are right, because $5 for those minis, yes, you have to do the work and buy the paints and do all that, but they look fantastic. So if the models turn out anything like these renders, I feel like we'll be very happy. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this week. Like I said, up above you'll see my It Builds character video, my weekly character building segment. This week I built Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon, so you can go check that out. And then you can also check out our last episode of Storm King's Thunder, which is our Tuesday night stream. Pretty soon we're going to be rolling into, because we kind of got off book, into It Builds character, Against the Giants, the Tales from the Yawning Portal adventure. So we're going to roll into that, probably starting this Tuesday. So if you want to see Tales from the Yawning Portal Dungeon and a remake of a classic D&D module, I'll be sure to come check that out. Anyway guys, hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.